Okay. Colleagues, welcome to voting session. We have in front of you voting list number 13, starting with House Bill 149.
House Bill 149 makes several technical and procedural changes to the Maryland Electricians Act. There are no amendments.
Move favorable.
Any discussion on the move that's favorable? Hearing none. Delegate Crosby?
Aye.
Delegate Harrison? Aye. Delegate Boafo? Aye. Delegate Howard? Yes. Delegate Charkoudian? Delegate Rose? Delegate Pruski? Yes. Delegate Fennell? Delegate Turner? Yes. Delegate Sample Hughes? Delegate Valderrama? Delegate Chi? Delegate Frazier Hildago? Aye. Delegate Adams? Aye. Delegate Arentz? Aye. Delegate Pippy? Delegate Jackson? Delegate Johnson? Delegate Rogers? Delegate Ampry? Aye. Delegate Weibel? Delegate Fisher? Delegate Queen? Bill moves unanimously for the first time, I believe, this session. Next bill is House Bill 284.
Yes, House Bill 284 is a cross-file to Senate Bill 222. If we could take these both at the same time.
That would be fine.
Do you want me to do them both now, or do you want me to wait until we get to the Senate bill?
Which one did you want to do first? Does it matter on this one?
I'm just going to do the Senate bill first.
Okay, then we'll wait till we get to the Senate bill. Brief indulgence.
Okay. Correct.
I'm sorry? I mean, it's the same,
Yes.
same bill. We'll obviously call them both. All right, we can move on to the next bill then. House Bill 595 is going to be held for amendments. Next bill is House Bill 955, which is going to, we'll call that in order. Apologize. Next bill is 988.
Same thing, sir. Would you like to hold this and do it when we do Senate Bill 828?
Apparently, we're going to keep doing this. These are in wonderful order. We'll wait till we get to the Senate bill. Next bill we have is House Bill 998.
House Bill 998 was the last House bill heard. It was a study to deal with the diminished value claims in the automobile insurance industry.
Move unfavorable.
Any discussion on the unfavorable? Nine
998.
On the unfavorable motion, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. No. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Aye. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Aye. Delegate Adams. Aye. Delegate Arentz. Aye. Delegate Pippy. Yes. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Aye. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Motion is unfavorable. Bill dies. Next bill is Senate Bill 90.
Senate Bill 90 is very similar to the House 37 as from Delegate Stuart Vaughn. They amended it the same way we did, with one additional provision, and that is that they would have they also exempt from the ambit of the bill essentially political polling calls. There's an amendment in your packet, 153, 120, to strip that and to return the bill to the same posture that the bill left the House.
So to be clear, the amendment was, the bills that came over from the Senate was to make exceptions for political calls. I believe the chair put in an amendment to strip that, so political calls will get no exceptions. That's the amendment.
Move the amendment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would we treat everyone else like I would like us to do what we ask others to do? And I don't believe that that's one way we get our message.
I mean, yes, it's one way.
And so
It's a very effective
I
way.
just think that people that don't want to be harassed, they just generally don't want to be harassed. So I felt, again, this is open for discussion, but while it is one tool, it's one of many tools that we have as elected officials, and I believe plenty of our citizens, if we're going to ask businesses to not do robocalls, I think we should lead by example. Delegate Rose?
I just have a question. So I know not just the plain robocalls, but there are calls where people can opt in to take a poll or a survey. Is that also going to be banned?
Who's the
No,
attorney?
if you can always give consent,
Okay.
This is without
but
consent.
this is where you are not consenting to that call. They can't, call you more than, say, 3 times in a day. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
When you go through some of these things, when you agree on some websites to accept something, like even an Apple thing, you get included in that. There's robocalls or we'll update you by phone or whatever. You do that by accident. Are we gonna really put a big load on some of the lawyer types if we do this bill that way?
No, to my recollection, I apologize, it's been a while for the bill, but the bill, number one, precluded auto dialers, which is just the random dialers that go through. If you consent to receiving information via phone, or via text, or via email, this does not do anything when you consent.
I guess my point is that when I get on a website and I sit down and I accept that I want to get things from some manufacturer, in that website, that agreement, it says we can call you. That's what it says in there. And people are going to get inundated with that, and they're going to start calling foul on that, which I would agree. I don't like getting calls, don't misunderstand.
what-
I'm going to vote for the bill, it's just a question.
Okay, what the bill has, in both the House and Senate form, is requirement for prior express written consent.
So if you consent, you can get the calls if you so choose. And again, the only difference is we did not provide an exception for political or robocalls. Just believe we should lead by example. Any more discussion? Was this on the amendment? Was the amendment moved? All right, so the bill is amended.
No. We have to adopt the amendment?
I thought we,
Oh, okay, sorry. Move the bill as amended.
on the bill is amended, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Sample Hughes, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi, Delegate Frazier Hildago, Delegate Adams, Delegate Arentz, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Weigel, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen. Bill moves. Favorable with amendments. The next bill is Senate Bill
222?
222.
Yes. As amended, Senate Bill 222 requires the Maryland Department of the Environment to procure a statewide recycling needs assessment that includes specified analysis and evaluations, addresses certain topics related to the state's recycling system and extended producer responsibility programs. The bill also establishes an advisory council to evaluate and make recommendations on how to effectively establish and implement a producer responsibility program in the state. So there is one amendment that I just mentioned, but specifically, I guess, it strikes language that would have established an ongoing statewide recycling needs assessment and makes the needs assessment a one-time requirement, and strikes language that would have established the framework for producer responsibility for packaging materials. I'd like to mention ECM is secondary on this bill, ENT is primary. They voted yesterday with a vote of 19-2.
What was the vote?
19-2.
Okay. On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any discussion on the bill as amended? Hearing none. On the favor with amendments, Delegate Crosby. Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyvil. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Party line vote moves favorable with amendments. We also have House Bill 284.
Correct. As amended, House Bill 284 is identical to Senate Bill 222, which this body just passed 2 seconds ago.
On the favorable, so need a roll call. Delegate Crosby. Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyvil. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill moves favorable. Did you just write one? Senate Bill 429.
Yes, Senate Bill 429 increases from $250,000 to $1 million, the minimum level at which the Maryland Home Improvement Commission must keep the Home Improvement Guarantee Fund. The bill also increases from $100,000 to $250,000, the maximum possible amount that may be awarded by the Maryland Home Improvement Commission from the fund to all claimants for acts or omissions of one contractor, unless MHIC has paid out the $250,000.
Discussion on this bill, Delegate Adams.
Just for clarification, what did you say it takes the fund from and to?
250,000 to 1 million.
Okay, so you're saying that the current fund balance is 1 million, or will be 1 million should the bill pass? And how do we get there?
What do you
How do we
mean?
get to that fund balance?
Well, I think the issue is really what we're switching.
Okay.
What we need to focus on is the going from 100,000 to 250,000. I think the commission said there were currently 11 contractors right now that are projected to hit that 250,000 mark. And once they hit that, then it will be well over the 200. The fund balance will be well over what is in there. I think it's 250,000 now. So they're giving it room to grow, because if we go over $250,000, then they don't have anything to pay from the fund, and then people are just left out.
Thank you.
Delegate Crosby. Any other questions on the bill? I believe the motion is favorable. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyvil. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill passes. And Delegate Wyvil, just to be sure you were recorded properly, did you say yes or no? You said yes. Thank you. Next bill. Next bill is Senate Bill 496.
Okay. Senate Bill 496 establishes a regulatory framework for commercial financing transactions, including open-end, closed-end, sale-based financing, factoring, and renewal financing transaction. Specifically, it establishes disclosure requirements on providers of commercial financing. So things like information for fees, finance charges, annual percentage rate, and repayment terms.
Any discussion on the unfavorable? Seeing none. Delegate Crosby. Delegate Harrison on the unfavorable. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. You're a no. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill dies, unfavorable. Next bill,
The next bill is Senate Bill 555, which we heard yesterday. It increases the state minimum wage rate for all employers to $15 per hour, beginning January 1, 2024. There are no amendments.
any discussion on the favorable? Hearing none. On the favorable. 555. Good? Thank you. Delegate Crosby. Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill moves favorable. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 742 requires that any system operated by a manufacturer, distributor, or factory branch for the allocation of new vehicles to dealers be reasonable and fair for all dealers. The bill also requires that upon written request, a dealer, manufacturer, distributor, or factory branch must disclose the method by which new vehicles are allocated to dealers in the same line make. There are no amendments to this bill.
Any discussion on Senate Bill 742 moving favorable?
Is there a Senate cross-file to this? I'm sorry, is there a House cross-file to the bill?
It's not a cross-file, but as amended, they're identical.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to vote against the bill.
Sure.
Yeah.
On Senate Bill 742.
What manufacturers are allocating, right, we just talked about that with that other love bill, we wanted to add, this is what that bill does, huh? I was going to. You just missed the roll call. I was going to.
All right, on Senate Bill 742, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
On the favorable, Delegate Harrison.
Aye.
Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Johnson. It's on me. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill moves favorable. Next bill.
The next bill is Senate Bill 828.
I'm sorry, let me back up for a moment. Are we gonna do House Bill 955, since it's exact same before we do that one?
Yes, as amended, House Bill 955 is identical to Senate Bill 742 as just voted by this body.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. The bill is amended. Delegate Crosby. Aye. Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hildago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Wyval, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen. Delegate Wyval, if I can get you to speak up a little bit, bud, because I heard you, but I can barely hear you. Next bill, please.
We're on Senate Bill 828, which was also heard yesterday and modifies the Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program by altering key administrative deadlines, technical definitions, and components of the program's administration. There is an amendment in your packet which just corrects an incorrect subsection reference. It's very technical.
On the amendment, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? On the bill as amended, any discussion? Delegate Adams.
Council, what's the breakdown between employer and employee now that the bill's been amended?
It would be 50-50.
50-50.
Yes. Any other questions? It's all over the map. California is 100%, DC is 100% employer, California is 100% employee, New York, I think, is 50-50. It's all over the map. It's in the middle. Seeing no questions, no other discussion on the favorable as amended, Delegate Crosby. Aye. Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen. Senate Bill 828 moves forward as amended. Now House Bill 988, please.
Yes, sir. House Bill 988 is the Senate cross-file to the bill you just voted on. The amendments in your packet conform it to the Senate bill as you just voted on it.
Move the amendments.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none.
Move
On
the
the
bill as
bill.
amended.
Any discussion on this bill?
I just did that twice.
Hearing none. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill moves forward favorable with amendments. Last bill, colleagues, is Senate Bill 928.
Senate Bill 928 was heard yesterday. This is actually a departmental from MIA. It is a bill that is required for compliance with NAIC standards. We have the Credit for Model Reinsurance Act, and what this does, this says we can't drop an insurer if it is otherwise covered by a treaty that the U.S. has entered into. Essentially, this is because of UK and EU standards. There are no amendments.
On the favorable, any discussion? I just want to make sure. Steve, you guys good? No, any discussion? Correct.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right.
That's
Delegate, go ahead.
So that's why Commissioner Bahrain came in to testify.
Okay. Delegate Crosby. Aye. Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Yes. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Yes. Delegate Fennell. Yes. Delegate Turner. Yes. Delegate Sample Hughes. Aye. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Aye. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Aye. Delegate Adams. Yes. Delegate Aaron's. Yes. Delegate Pippy. Yes. Delegate Jackson. Yes. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Aye. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill moves forward, favorable, unanimous. Again, colleagues, we still have plenty of voting to do, so just kind of get used to voting every day. We're not going to have a lot of back room. If there's any discussion, of course, I don't mind entertaining the discussion for the, for my fellows on the other side of the aisle. I'm not trying to leave you out of the discussion, so please, feel free to debate. If there's anything you need us to slow down with, please let us know. We will make sure you guys have all the time you need. Other than that, colleagues, have a good weekend. I will see everybody Monday. I don't believe we have anything before 3. So I'll see everybody Monday on the floor. Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful weekend.